Good morning. Welcome to A Spirit Moves Me with Unity Church of Christ. I'm Reverend Rebecca Galati. Sorry for the delay. I was on a search for my book and I couldn't find my book. However, I didn't panic because there's more than one way to skin a cat, as the saying goes, although we don't want to be skinning cats because that's a terrible thought. I went and printed out what I wanted to talk about from truthunity.net, which is a wonderful place to go for archives on the writings of so many Unity leaders, including our beloved co-founder, Charles Fillmore. And so today I'm reading from the book, Keep a True Lent, from the chapter called The World Calls to Courage. And this is pages 37 and 38, and I'm skipping around. Jesus taught that the world belongs to man and that man is responsible for it. The human family is responsible for the poverty or the prosperity of the world. By our mental beholding and working, we determine whether we shall have or have not. Our prosperity is the result of work, not physical work alone, but first mental and spiritual work. There is an everlasting marching on in every industry and science. We are never content with the present methods, but are constantly seeking better ones. We are not content with our schools, but are always finding easier ways to gain knowledge for ourselves and our children. Our nation is therefore progressing. We find that Christianity is surprisingly progressive too. Our religion is constantly unfolding new possibilities, new powers, and new beauties. We are on the way to a great outpouring of spiritual development. We have not realized what a wonderful religion we have. It is filled with possibilities, and these possibilities are made known to us in mind and spirit. But we need more courage to develop these possibilities. We need more initiative. We need more awareness of this divine power in us when we awaken to the spiritual man, which every one of us has within us. We shall see that through spiritual unfoldment, all good things are possible of accomplishment, as Jesus promised. All things are possible to us, only we must believe. Believe what? We must believe in ourselves, in the innate spiritual man in us, and we must encourage him. Encourage him with what? With sound words, with affirmations of almightiness. Then we shall have the key to overcoming the world. Now, I know that in his writing here, Charles Fillmore is focusing in on Christianity. And I know also that, as everything evolves, as we're always, as he says, progressing, that the Unity movement has progressed to an embracement of all paths. And so the power of the mind and the power of spirituality doesn't just belong to Christians. It belongs to every person. If we're all made in the image and likeness of God, then we're all made in the image and likeness of God, with all of the inherent characteristics and qualities of God within each and every one of us, made to be the best expression of God we can be, whatever name we give to God. And so we open our minds and our hearts to embrace that. The main theme in this is progression. It's about constantly seeking something better, something higher. And these are the things that we must do courageously within ourselves first, so that we can be an example in the world. So an example that others will follow, an example, that others will see. And so this is how we progress, is by working on ourselves and opening our minds and our hearts to being more and seeing more and accomplishing more and believing in ourselves. That's the key, having faith. Faith is the foundation upon which we build everything. So we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe that we are each a divine expression of God, no matter whether we call ourselves Christians or Jews or Buddhists or Muslims. It doesn't matter. We're all unique expressions of God, and it's the same God. There's only one presence and one power. We say that every Sunday in our service at Unity. And so we embrace that. And we embrace the God, the goodness, the godness in each and every person that we meet. And we look to that spiritual divinity within our own selves and follow it to our own progression, because this is how the world calls us to courage. And as the world calls us to courage, the world will change. We're called to courage so that we can change the world. We're called to courage so that we can be the best expression of God that we can be. And many of us during this Lenten season, and I know the season of Ramadan is coming up soon, and the Seder will be coming up soon, and other religious celebrations. At this time of the year, the springtime, all around us, calling us to renewal, many of us are working on this. We're working on centering ourselves in the divinity within and becoming more, cleansing our minds and hearts at this time of year so that we can be open to being more, so we can be courageously called to do whatever it is that is ours to do. And so let's just take this time now to consider this. What is it that you're being called to do? What is it that you have been working on during this Lenten season that is clearing the way, cleaning the way for you to be all that you can be, to be the best expression of God that you can be? Because that's what you are. It's what you're created to be, is an expression of God. And so let's take a few minutes to simply become quiet and still and center ourselves in the truth that we are made to be expressions of God. And the call of the world is for us to have the courage to recognize this and to take action in becoming all that we are created to be. So as we center ourselves in the divine spirit that lives within us, we are filled with courage. We are filled with willingness and determination. To become the Christ that we are, the Christ that lives within each and every one of us and in all persons, with the understanding that it's not about Christianity per se. It's about what we call the presence of God within. We center ourselves in truth. That we are all created in the image and likeness of God. That the presence and power of God is all around us all the time, even when it doesn't look like it, even among death and destruction. For we all use the presence and power of God at the level of consciousness that we are currently in. And so the world calls us to the courage to come up higher, to a higher level of consciousness, to a higher level of being, so that we might use this presence and power in a positive, constructive way. And that begins individually. It begins with me. And I do what I can do to bring positive, constructive consciousness to any situation or circumstance around me. I do that by being courageous enough to answer the call to what it is that is mine to do, to right an injustice, to correct a wrong, if it is mine to do that. The world calls me to be courageous in being all that I can be. And so I center myself in all of that divine possibility that is within me, all of that divine potential that lies in my heart and my soul. And I courageously follow where I am guided to go. And for this guidance, and for the courage to follow, and the willingness to be the I am that I am. I am grateful. I am grateful for every day and of every opportunity to do so. And most especially living in this present moment, I am grateful for this day. For the courage, the willingness, and the determination of this day. Amen. Thank you for being with me. I love you all. I'll see you in church.